So, people have asked me, is this better than this? Let's go. What's up, guys? Joe here from the Scruffy fam. Hey, if you're not already a subscriber, please like and subscribe. 95% of our videos are viewed by non-subscribers. So please, doesn't do anything, doesn't cost you anything, hit that subscribe button. I'm a gunsmith, started up a gun shop. I'll let you guys know more about that soon. And I get a lot of questions that I like to answer. I like to go hunting, I like to shoot guns, and YouTube's not a big fan of gun channels. So best way to help us, subscribe, hit that like button to help us get out there. So ever since I got a 6.5 Creedmoor, and it hasn't been that long, a lot of people ask me, well, do you like it better than the 6.5 PRC? If you don't like going through all the numbers and hearing all the nerdy stuff, I'll tell you right now, no. I still think the 6.5 PRC is better than the 6.5 Creedmoor. But now I've got data to back me up as to why. The 6.5 Creedmoor has a lot going for it. I will tell you, this is a fantastic round for what it is and what it's designed for. This thing is pretty nice. And if you're looking for something that doesn't recoil that bad, is readily available and extremely affordable, this is a really good option to start looking at. But you can't say it's better than this, because it's not. Alright guys, so what I want to do today is I want to go apples to apples. We're going to talk about the exact same bullet weight from the exact same manufacturer in the exact same product line. We're going to take all of that data, we're going to compare them with each other, and we're going to put this to bed, okay? The 6.5 PRC is better than the 6.5 Creedmoor. If you look at all the ballistic data, I don't think you can have that argument to say that it's better, okay? Because it's not. It's just not. So what we've got is I have the Hornady Precision Hunter 143 grain ELDX for both the 6.5 PRC and the 6.5 Creedmoor, okay? Hornady introduced both of these cartridges. I think it was a 10 to 15 year separation between the announcements of each, but the 6.5 Creedmoor has been around for, we're almost pushing, it's at least 15, almost 20 years old, and the 6.5 PRC is going on about 5 years old. So exact same bullet, they're both the 6.5 bullet, they have the exact same BC, the exact same sectional density, all of those gee-whiz things are all the exact same. The difference that we have is the powder capacity on the 6.5 PRC is significantly higher than it is on the 6.5 Creedmoor. That increases our velocity. That velocity increase with the exact same bullet gives us more foot-pounds of energy. It gives us a much higher terminal impact than the 6.5 Creedmoor. So let's look at the numbers. We'll go out to 1,000 yards. If you're thinking about target shooting capabilities, 6.5 PRC is better. I said it. The 6.5 Creedmoor is very good, very, very good, and most people choose it because it's very mild recoiling. You can see your trace, you can see your impacts. You can do the same thing with the 6.5 PRC, and the 6.5 PRC handles the longer distances better. So let's come to the table and look at it. So here we are at the workbench. I have pulled up from the Hornady site. Now I used all of the data that Hornady had. I did update for appropriate weather and all that gee whiz, but when you look at this, so this is 6.5 PRC, this is 6.5 Creedmoor. Now they use a 24-inch barrel, I have a 22-inch barrel, so you actually would reduce the velocity. I'm gonna give the 6.5 Creedmoor every chance it can, but yeah, it can't hang. So let's look at the 6.5 PRC. Zoom you guys in here. So at most hunters, when surveyed, said they don't hunt past 500 yards. So at 500 yards of the 6.5 PRC, we have 2272 on our feet per second with 1638 foot-pounds of energy. You have a 43.1 inch drop. It's an MOA adjustment of up 8.2 and for mils 2.4. Okay? So what does that mean for long range shooting? 8.2 MOA and 2.4 mil, that's not a lot of adjustments, okay? That's really not when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. Let's look at the 6.5 Creedmoor, 500 yards, carrying
2,049 feet per second with a 1,333 foot-pounds of energy. Is a 53.5-inch drop. That's a 10.2-inch come up on MOA and a 3 mil. So at 500 yards, there's not a, I mean, that's, when you look at that adjustment, that's, you have a 2 MOA less adjustment at 500 yards and almost 1 mil adjustment less at 500 yards. Is that really significant in the grand scheme of things? Not really, but let's talk about what is. This is 1638 foot-pounds of energy. That is 1333 foot-pounds of energy. The 6.5 PRC can take out big game at 500 yards. The 6.5 Creedmoor could not. So when we look at what it takes to kill large game, Hornady actually puts out a hit calculator, and the 6.5 Creedmoor falls under the threshold for big game. It meets it for medium game, where the 6.5 PRC meets the threshold for big game. Now let's go out to 1,000 yards for the long-range target shooters. So the 6.5 PRC, right here, has a 258.7-inch drop. That means it's a come up of 24.7 MOA or 7.2 mil. With the 6.5 Creedmoor, we have a 319.8 drop, which is a 30.5 MOA adjustment or an 8.9 mil adjustment. So let's talk about that. What does it mean by the MOA and mil adjustment? That's the adjustment you have on your optic when you're going to turn it. So what a lot of long-range shooters will do is they'll put a 20 or 30 MOA rail on, which is already starting to point your scope down. So when they have to come up, it's giving them a little bit of extra clicks inside their optic. So why you see so many 34 millimeter tubes now is it gives you more internal adjustment for your MOA or mil adjustment of your reticle. A lot of long-range target shooters will have those so that they can have that adjustment. What you're looking for in a long-range shooting round is something that's going to buck the wind. It's going to stay flat for a long time. You don't want it to have too much drop. Well, if you look at ballistically, the 6.5 PRC is carrying the exact same bullet more efficiently downrange than the 6.5 Creedmoor is. And you're starting to see that more and more in some of the PRS and NRL hunting worlds, is especially the NRL hunter. More in the hunter than in the PRS. PRS guys are doing things like 6 Dasher, 6 Arc, 6 Creedmoor. It's a little bit different type of shooting. But I've seen more in the NRL hunter, people are really picking up on the 6.5 PRC. The 6.5 Creedmoor is still extremely popular for good reason, but the 6.5 PRC is much more efficient. Ballistically, it's not even a comparison. You can just see from the numbers that the 6.5 PRC is a more efficient round going downrange. A lot of people have called the 6.5 PRC the Magnum. I've even said it myself, it's the 6.5 Creedmoor Magnum. It's carrying much more powder and is becoming much more efficient going downrange. Now, what does the 6.5 Creedmoor have going for it over the 6.5 PRC? Because there are some things that are an advantage to the 6.5 Creedmoor over the 6.5 PRC. So let's talk about them. None of them have to do with ballistics. Ballistically, the 6.5 PRC is better. So you can't argue that. For all of you to say, well, I've been able to do this and that's great, but numbers don't lie. Okay, they don't, and neither does the effectiveness on game. I have seen, and I can't show on YouTube, what happens to a carcass shot with a 6.5 PRC versus 6.5 Creedmoor. There is a big difference, okay? All right, so let's talk about where the 6.5 Creedmoor beats the 6.5 PRC. Number one, rifle availability. That's a big deal. If you're looking to get a new rifle and you go to the store and you can't find a 6.5 PRC on the shelf, it doesn't matter if it's ballistically better or not. If you see 15 6.5 Creedmoors, which one are you probably going to get? Are you going to look at all the different online retailers and find the closest FFL to have it shipped to, buy the rifle, then have to pay the transfer fee? Or are you going to go into a place and just buy the rifle off the shelf and be ready to go? I think that depends on who you are and what you're looking for. If you do a lot of research and you determine that I want this rifle, you'll order it, you'll wait, you'll get it, that's fine. If you're looking for something to start shooting right away, you're probably not going to find a 6.5 PRC on the shelf in most places. I live in just outside of Madison, Wisconsin, not a small place. I have not found any of the PRCs 6, 7, or 300 on the shelf. None of them. I have found tons of 6.5 Creedmoor. You can't go to a shop and not bump into a 6.5 Creedmoor on accident. My Walmart in town has 6 rifles. 6 rifles. 5 of them are 6.5 Creedmoor. 1 is a 22 long rifle. That is very telling. When you look at the popular rifle sales over the last few years, the top 4 bolt action hunting rifles. Number 1 is the 308. Number 2 is the 6.5 Creedmoor. Number 3 is the 243. Number 4 is the 30-06. And number 5 was the 270 Winchester, for you guys that want to know the top 5. So when you think about the big 4 that most people think of for deer hunting, 30-06, 308, 270, 243. Extremely popular. Extremely popular. Now you have the 6.5 Creedmoor busting into that in the top 5, and it's in the top 2. And I don't think it's going to be very long before it takes over the first spot. I do think the 308 is a better overall cartridge than the 6.5 Creedmoor, but the 6.5 Creedmoor is more efficient than the 308. And people are now starting to put the 6.5 Creedmoor in AR platform rifles. That's just going to make its popularity skyrocket. It's the exact same thing that happened with the 308 and the 223. When you think about that, those are NATO rounds. You can find them everywhere. Part of the reason they're so popular is because they're so available. You can get, even during the worst part of the pandemic, you could find 308 and 223. It was simple. Okay, so availability, the 6.5 Creedmoor knocks it out of the park. It is one of the most popular rifle chamberings that exists today. The 6.5 PRC, not so much. It's gaining in that popularity, but the Creedmoor has a decade and a half head start on it. Second is ammo availability. For all the exact same reasons I just said about the rifle availability apply to the ammo availability. Almost every major ammo manufacturer makes 6.5 Creedmoor ammo now. Not the same for 6.5 PRC. It's starting to come online, and it's starting to get a little bit better, but the 6.5 Creedmoor destroys the 6.5 PRC when it comes to ammo availability. There were almost 50 different chamberings for the 6.5 Creedmoor. There were 13 or 14 for the 6.5 PRC. Cost of that ammunition also extremely different. Even at the 2 boxes that we compared today of the 6.5 Creedmoor and the 6.5 PRC, the 6.5 Creedmoor was $38.99, the 6.5 PRC was $43.99. That's a difference, especially when you shoot as much as I do. That's a really big deal. When I look at the American Whitetail line, it's kind of my gold standard for hunting to start with, because most rifles I've seen will at least hit paper with it. I can find that for the 6.5 Creedmoor. It does not exist yet for the 6.5 PRC. So ammo availability and cost goes to the 6.5 Creedmoor. So when we boil all of this down and we look at it, when you compare the 6.5 Creedmoor to the 6.5 PRC, which categories does the 6.5 Creedmoor actually win? It actually wins in the categories of recoil. I'll show you a video here of why. Here's the 6.5 PRC. Yeah. It wins in the category of rifle availability, and it wins in the category of ammo availability. Where it doesn't win is in the ballistics category. So if you want to compare these 2 rifles, pick what you're comparing. If we want to compare availability, it's no contest. The 6.5 Creedmoor is going to win. If we want to compare popularity, I don't think there's more fanboys of any other caliber than there is the 6.5 Creedmoor. And lastly, if you're going to compare ballistics, there's no contest. The 6.5 PRC is going to win. So, guys, which one do you prefer? I will say I enjoy shooting the 6.5 Creedmoor. I enjoy shooting the 6.5 PRC. They're both easy to shoot. I have been blown away with the accuracy of the 6.5 PRC, even on a bad range day and a hot rifle. I'm getting really consistent and repeatable results. I want to see if I get the same thing out of the 6.5 Creedmoor. If I do, I think that the 6.5 Creedmoor would be a fantastic option for people's first gun. When you put a muzzle brake on that, it recoils less than a 243. The 243 has kind of been the gateway bolt action rifle for years. For years. Start on the 22, go to the 243. Go from the 243 to one of the bigger ones, 308, 270, 30-06, right? That's kind of been the gateway. When I was a kid, that's the way that it went. Now, you could come straight in with a 6.5 Creedmoor, and that kind of be it. So, tell me what you guys think. Do you have a 6.5 Creedmoor? Do you have a 6.5 PRC? Which one do you like better? Right now, I like my 6.5 PRC better, but I'm just getting to know the 6.5 Creedmoor, so we'll see if I still say the same thing in a year from now. But guys, I hope you like what you're seeing. If you do, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Let's have a conversation down below. What are your experiences with the 6.5 Creedmoor and the 6.5 PRC? What have you hunt with them? What has been your success rate with it? And let's have a good conversation, guys. Until then, we'll see you next time.